Hi everyone, Slade Perrins here from Speedcafe.com to preview the upcoming round of the Ryco Supercars Championship at Sandown. We've got the Penrite Oil Sandown SuperSprint for you this weekend as the championship heads back to Victoria for round 9 of the season. But first, it's time to catch you up on some news. This is Ryco Filters Clearing the Air. Sandown Race Week started with some big news out of Dick Johnson Racing and the announcement that there will be a change in the majority shareholding in the team. It was announced that the Ralph family, spearheaded by Brett Ralph, will become co-owners of Shelby Vale Racing Team in January 2023. Now, Dick Johnson and Executive Chairman Ryan Story will maintain their day-to-day positions in the race team and hold on to a significant share in the business. The Ralph family's interest will be held through the Melbourne Aces Baseball Club, which is part of their expansive business and sporting profile. And of course, you can check out some more details on that on speedcafe.com. We've got a full explainer of how that all works and a bit of history on the Ralph family as well for you there. The big storyline after the bend was the major start line crash between Andre Heimgartner and Thomas Randall. Now, it was great to see both those drivers released from hospital, but there's been a lot more going on behind the scenes. Both Heimgartner and Randall and their teams. There was big damage to both cars, of course. Now, Randall has reverted to the chassis raced by Wildcard Zach Best at the bend, and Randall will be racing that at Sandown and presumably moving forward as well. And whereas Heimgartner's chassis was damaged to the point that it actually won't be racing ever again. So they've had to shift all the running gear over to a different chassis, and Andre will be in that this weekend, and we'll be seeing the number 8 R&J Batteries car back out on track. Now, also relating to that big incident that we saw at the bend, and Supercars has actually mandated an update to the in-car warning system that is now used in all the Supercars Championship race cars. There was concerns over just how well that system dealt with the incident at the bend. So previously, the in-car warning system's display and its controls and in what priority they delivered messages were left up to the team's discretion. Now, that has actually changed moving forward, and it's part of the update to the whole system itself. And there's basically a standardized configuration for all cars for the start line procedure that ensures drivers would see a stalled car message in the same way as everyone else, rather than it being a priority set out by the team. So that is coming to effect, and it's been mandated from Sandown onwards, and we'll see that moving forward for the rest of the year. So a great initiative there to improve safety from Supercars. There was a big development in the ownership of Supercars in between rounds. Now, Race, who owns Supercars, confirmed that a stake in the business has actually been sold. Speedcafe.com understands, as you would have seen through our reporting, that the stake that has changed hands is that of co-founder, or AIG's co-founder, Brian Boyd, and it was believed that he held about 15% in Race. That share has been consolidated within Race, so it's now owned by someone that was existing in the Race group already. Now, also revealed by Speedcafe.com, the other AIG affiliate involved in Race, the Rogers family, have also expressed some interest to sell out of their shares. There was an email that was sent by Gary Rogers to Supercars team owners, but it's now understood that the Rogers family may have stepped back from that position of wanting to sell their shares. So there's still plenty to shake out there from the Race and the Supercars ownership front over the next few weeks. More developments around Gen 3 have been surfacing lately. Now, the project got a test day at the Bend Motorsport Park in which Nick Percat got his first laps in the Ford Mustang. That was following the OTR SuperSprint event there. Percat shared the driving in the Mustang with Blanchard Racing Team's Tim Slade, and Matt Stone Racing duo Jack LeBrock and Todd Hazelwood also got their first laps in the Chevrolet Camaro. The focus for the running at the bend was centered around the car's oil system and being able to sign off on that so the project could move forward onto another phase. Adrian Burgess actually told Speedcafe.com recently that some teams will be testing their Gen 3 cars in December, so the timeline is really moving forward there, and Gen 3 actually looks to be making some really good progress as of late. Pace will actually be delivering its first Gen 3 chassis to a Supercars team at Sandown, and that is going the way of Brad Jones Racing. and that'll be the first chassis that Pace has constructed or fabricated, going to a Supercars team to then assemble themselves with the control parts and the parts that they've manufactured as well. Of course, the Camaro and Mustang will be back out on track this weekend, and they'll be doing demonstration runs at Sandown to show the fans, and there'll be some testing going on of certain components and certain parts through the project as well. Some other news items to catch you up on now. Of course, over the Bend weekend, we had Will Brown and Brody Kostecki both re-sign at Erebus Motorsport for next season, so that lineup is all locked in. We had the naming rights sponsor for the Supercar season finale this year. It's going to be called the Valo Adelaide 500 from December 1 to 4, and that will close out the 2022 Supercars Championship. Premier Racing completed its Bathurst 1000 pairings. We had James Golding, who will share with Dylan O'Keefe, Porsche Carrera Cup racer and TCR racer, and then the sister car of Chris Pither will have Cameron Hill, who of course is a 888 Super 2 driver, in the co-driver seat there. Those guys actually had a test day recently out at Queensland Raceway, which was Golding's first test day with the team since jumping in mid-season to replace Gary Jacobson. So plenty of progress there for Premier Racing. And the last one for you, Greg Murphy and Richie Stanaway's Bathurst 1000 Wildcard livery was revealed at Erebus Motorsports. The number 51 has a New Zealand-inspired livery. It actually features the silver fern for its two Kiwi drivers. Plenty of Kiwi spirit in an Erebus for the wildcard this year. Now, talking more specifically about Sandown, this weekend is the SuperSprint format. So we're going to have one race for you on Saturday, which is going to be race 24 of the championship, over 36 laps, and then race 25 and 26 follow on Sunday. There's also going to be a co-driver practice session this weekend, additional drivers practice. So that is for the full-time cars co-drivers who get to jump in for a 30-minute session and basically warm up before the Bathurst 1000. Now, wildcards that are competing at Bathurst cannot compete in this co-driver session, given that they're not full-time championship cars, but one wildcard driver in Craig Lowndes will actually be jumping in the number 4 Brad Jones Racing Commodore of Jack Smith. Jack Smith hasn't had his co-driver locked in yet. They're still working through that. So the team saw an opportunity to throw Craig Lowndes, who wouldn't have otherwise driven in the session, into Smith's car for the co-driver practice. So we're going to see Lowndesy in a different team, steering a different car for co-driver practice. So something different for fans to see there. The last time Supercars visited Sandown, it was all eyes on Shane van Gisbergen, who absolutely blew everyone away. He won all 3 races while nursing an injury after a mountain biking accident 2 weeks earlier. He certainly set the bar high for Sandown, and of course comes off the back of 3 race victories at the Bend. So the big question is, who's going to beat Shane van Gisbergen? Taking a look at your Grove High leaderboard coming into this weekend, and in the Drivers' Championship, obviously Van Gisbergen still way out front at 393 points over Cameron Waters, who's your new second place man in the Drivers' Championship, ahead of Dear Pasquale now. Anton there in third place, followed by Will Davison, Chaz Moster and Brock Feeney just outside the top 5. Make sure you check out the R&J Batteries event guide for all the track schedule details, and we'll of course have Mobile One live updates for you again this weekend. So if you're not watching on TV and you're not at the track, you can keep track of what's going on in Supercars land. Speedcafe.com is also giving you the opportunity to win the ultimate Bathurst prize, with the chance to win a trip for 2 at this year's Repco Bathurst 1000 and the ultimate trackside experience. Tickets are limited at $20, with all proceeds going to St Vincent's Health Australia. There's too many prizes to list, so make sure you check out ultimatemotorsportprize.com.au to enter. So that's your Ryco Filters Clear in the Air preview for Sandown. Make sure you stay across speedcafe.com for all the developments across the weekend, and we'll have all the news and race reports for you there.
Ryco Syntec oil filters are used by leading supercars team Tickford Racing on their Mustang V8 engines, and now you can get one for your road car. As part of Ryco's partnership with Tickford, significant production enhancements have been made to the Syntec range, including larger ports that improve oil flow and a thicker base plate for added protection against oil pressure surges during endurance events, whilst maintaining superior filtration and life. Syntec is a premium upgrade over OE, so ask your mechanic for Ryco Syntec at your next service and fit the best oil filter on the market.